So why did Israel do it? And what's going to happen next? Who better to go to first? The sage of Halifax, Nova Scotia in Canada, the redoubtable Gary. Gary, welcome to the show.
Good evening, George.
Good evening to you, sir. Go ahead.
Well, it's very interesting. We here were also predicting that there would have to be retaliation, and this came as no surprise. The presentation in the international media that wants to suggest all kinds of things about Hezbollah's motives, Israel's motives. The interesting thing they're not mentioning, or they're saying almost nothing about, is there's a thing called an election campaign going on in Israel at this moment.
Yep.
And this is a tailor-made situation for the kind of adventurism that is typical of Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yes, indeed. That's one of the reasons why I'm sure he launched the attack, Gary, because he's under pressure from right and left in Israeli politics in this general election, which comes up in March. But an ex-Israeli general, warned him today not to drag Israel into another catastrophic war of unpredictable consequence just for the sake of his own re-election. What are they saying in Canada about it all, Gary?
Well, but you and I both know, George, that the recklessness of the Zionists, once they're in full flow, knows no limits. Back in 2006, they blamed the failure of Israel to wipe out Hezbollah. They blamed that on Dan Halutz, the head of the Air Force. Mm-hmm. They cashiered Dan Halutz. They didn't cashier him with an open discussion of the merits and demerits of his military role. First, they had a whole ditzy little scandal that they published in the Israeli newspapers that Dan Halutz had illegally stolen $30,000 in illicit earnings from the stock market. Then they embarrassed him, they humiliated him, so he had no choice but to leave. But did they have any investigation of what had actually happened to Israel at Hezbollah's hands? No, whatever investigation they had, there was no public reporting afterwards. So this is going to be, they're going to deal with this latest thing the same way. They were not prepared for the intensity of the Hezbollah response. And that, I think, is very clear. Everyone can see.
Yeah, we have to be clear about this. Hezbollah opened fire on Israeli forces illegally occupying the Sheba Farms area of Lebanon. It is Lebanese territory, and they have every right to struggle militarily against the illegal occupier of a part of their territory. So that's the first point. The Israeli forces should not have been there. They should not have been in military vehicles in an illegally occupied piece of Lebanon. Secondly, Hezbollah have behaved entirely proportionately. The Israelis bombed one of their convoys, and they have retaliated against one of Israel's convoys. And the matter could have left there. But it's quite clear that Netanyahu, for a variety of reasons, wants to be the Air Force for the Takfiri fanatics seeking and partially succeeding to tear Syria apart. No one can get out of this. This is an objective reality. They are attacking the regime forces of Syria when those regime forces are in total war with Al-Qaeda, with ISIS, and with 1,000 other ragbag extremist organizations. Ipso facto, Israel is on the side in that conflict of the extremists that the Syrian regime are fighting. If you weaken the Syrian regime, you make stronger the Takfiri militants that are fighting the Syrian regime. If you attack those who are assisting Syria against Al-Qaeda and ISIS, It's really ISIS now. Everyone has fallen in behind them. It's an existential struggle between ISIS and the regime in Damascus. There's only two sides. You have to choose which side you're on. I know which side I'm on. It's always the side that isn't ISIS. Where do you stand, Gary?
Well, it's very clear that where I stand and where those I work with politically stand is that Hezbollah is in the right, and that it's in the right from every direction. It's even in the right with regard to the Security Council resolution that's supposed to govern relations between Hezbollah and Israel in this period, Resolution 1701. And it's very clear that if you stand in defense of the territory of your own country, you can't be doing wrong, and that's what the situation has exposed on that border at this time.
Great call.